In the company of men, I feel safe and I feel happy. And in the company of men, I feel like I have a purpose. I have a job. I have a place to be and a mission to accomplish. As I've said before, I spent 3 years in the infantry. I was a young man, and at first I was very much rebellious to the fact of the military. But later I grew to love and understand that experience. Initially, I had a really hard time because in my household, even though my father was an extremely successful man, it was my mother who set the tone for my raising. And it took me a long time to unwind that, to find my place in the company of men without the burdens of female considerations weighing on my potentialities, weighing on my possibilities, weighing on my prospects. And so it has continued that I have found that it is the company of men where I have been the most successful. And starting my own business, I had to wean myself away from the approval and the appreciation of women. Because the women I was around did not understand, could not reconcile themselves to the risk of starting a business. It was the risk that they could not understand. And that's a huge point. When you surround yourself with women, their concern is for their safety and risk and the resources. And in the company of men, you are interested in the mission and your job to get the mission done. So I would say, and I do say, and I have been forthright in this, is that my goals are mine and I must set them for me. Now, that doesn't mean I get to be cruel or abusive or otherwise, irresponsible, because there are considerations that are important and they need to be honored. But the reality is, it is in the company of men and my own connection to the divine hierarchy as a man that is the most important and the most precious. So that connection, that orientation to the divine hierarchy as a man is the most precious thing that I have. It is my North Star. It is the pole star. It is the center of the grinding stone, which is life. The cosmic grindstone. And I am in that grinding stone, and I come out as wheat, and hopefully the chaff is cast aside. What a blessing that is to consider. So, my brothers, I would ask you to begin to find and look for ways to reestablish your connection to the company of men in your area, in your world, in your family. Bind together and find in that connection your purpose and your joy and your mission and your adventure. And that adventure is what makes life worth living. It is the love of life that I am discussing here. It is what the divine hierarchy insists on us, if we are to be anything, is that we find the love of our life, which is, in my opinion, not your progeny. It is your mission in the divine hierarchy to find your purpose. There's no other way. So if you are dating and you are looking for your purpose in dating, you will be crushed. Because that is not where you're going to find your life purpose. It is an aside. It's not unimportant. But your most important task is to find your purpose, to be obedient to that call. To be obedient to that call. So I would start to shift your gaze away from the distractions of this world, and one of them that I am particularly aware of is pornography. That your resolve is being compromised. Your resolve is being diluted by pornography. Not to mention the fact that what you watch is being known, and your proclivities and your tastes are being carefully noted, and you are vulnerable. So I would say, shift your gaze from pornography. Turn your gaze onto your brothers, and stay in the company of men as you understand your purpose and your calling, and be true to that. The other aspects of proliferation and propagation on this world are important and should be considered, but they need to be considered in the context of your obedience to your calling in the divine hierarchy. That is your primary criteria for understanding who you are and where you're going and what your family will consist of. There is no other way. It is your connection to the divine hierarchy through your own obedience, through your ability to go into the wilderness and to confront the beast and transform the beast. It means consuming the beast and not to be consumed by the beast. That is the essence. And in that resolve that occurs in that moment is then become the transformative moment of seeing and beholding beauty in the life we have. I don't mean feminine beauty, although it could be, but most likely it's the beauty of the divine showing itself through the wilderness experience. That is the beauty, which is so incredibly powerful that it is terrifying in its own right, because we stand in front of that and we see who we are. And to have the courage to aspire to connect to that beauty is the essence of our life. So I would say, and I do say, and I have done, is to go into the wilderness, to find yourself, to find your connection to the divine, and be connected with and for and to beauty, as it becomes part of who you are, and you become a beautiful being in your own right. Amen.